Hello, everyone. Are you guys listening to me? Can you hear me properly?
Are you good?
We'll just wait for some time. Hello, guys. Welcome to our live session. My name is Prasmasa. I'm a qualified education agent here at Aussizz Group, Adelaide City office.
Hi, my name is Dhiren. I'm also a registered education counselor here at Aussizz Group, Adelaide. Today's session, we would be conducting a few information about the student visa and the most popular courses in South Australia. So we'll give you some brief information about the courses and the student visa procedure and the documentations and stuff. And then obviously the main purpose of this session was to get more information from you guys, like what sort of questions and queries you have in mind in terms of your admissions or visas or anything like that. So if you have any comments or anything like that, just give us, just write down your comments in the section there, and we would be more than happy to answer those questions for you.
So just going forward, while we wait for some other participant to join in, we would like to, I would like to provide you some information about popular courses available here in South Australia. So moving forward, the very popular courses among all the international students is nursing at the moment. So we do have nursing courses available from diploma, bachelor's and master's degree. The upcoming intake for nursing courses will be February. We do have few seats available for February, and for bachelor's degree also, they are starting their intake in February and including masters. So the entry requirement will be overall 7, each band not less than 7. If you meet the entry requirement, if you're interested to get into that course, keep in touch with us and we'll help you to proceed further with the admission process. And along with that, another popular courses among the international student is trade courses. Trade courses, they have a variety of courses they can study, which is cookery course, automotive, carpentry, wall and floor tiling, painting and decoration. So these courses, there are lots of various education providers which offer these courses, and they do have monthly intakes. So if you're interested, please come to our office, see us, and then we'll help you further. Talking about higher education. So for bachelor's degree, the popular courses for bachelor's is IT, so information technology. So they do have diploma in IT, bachelor's and master's degree. So master's, few education providers, they provide masters in IT courses with specialization such as cloud computing, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and the upcoming intake for those courses will be February and March. And they do offer scholarship up to 15%, or few universities, they provide scholarship up to 30% if they have merit, like they do have merit scholarship as well. It depends upon the background of the student, the academic background and the English score that they do have. So they will assess the application and they'll offer you this eligible scholarship, whatever you get it. And then another master's degree or another higher education courses will be masters in business administration. We do have education provider which provides specialization in hospitality, digital management, health service management, travel, tourism and hospitality. And then accordingly, we do have masters in hospitality courses, engineering, and health science and public health courses as well. So talking about all these courses. So if you're interested, and then if you want to, pursue your studies and get a proper future career in the particular field, we can help you we can give you the career counseling as well, so that you can get a correct PR pathways, and you'll have a better career and better future in Australia. So if you are interested, or if you want to know more details about these courses, you can drop into the comment box. You can write down a question so that we can help you and we can suggest you the information. So moving forward, Dhiren will be providing you the information about student visa process.
Thanks, Prasmasa. Okay, so let's come to the point of your student visa applications. So we'll break it down in two sessions. One is for offshore students who are applying outside of Australia, and then the other one is onshore student visa. So let's talk about the offshore application first. If you are applying from overseas for your admission and your visa, make sure all the documentation that you provide are authentic. That's the first thing, because we have recently come across a lot of applicants, from offshore who applied admission and visa through certain fake documents, either be it financials or your gap documents to justify this gap after your studies. Or it could be anything. I mean, it depends on the applicants, whichever way they think. It depends on the country as well. Some countries provide certain documents, some applicants from certain countries provide other documents. The point is, make sure that all the documents are authentic, because we have to certify those documents and submit and cite on behalf of you guys. So if you do provide any fake documents, and that could be a reason for your visa refusals. A lot of universities nowadays are making sure that all the documents are genuine. Basically, let's say if they're assessing your application for your admission, they'll check with your bank or they'll check with your fund providers to make sure that the funds and everything that you are showing are authentic and not just on the paper. So make sure you don't make any of those mistakes to provide any unauthentic documents. There could be other way around. If you have certain gaps or your lack of financial, we could work out some other ways to come up with a solution. So just get in touch with us and we can give you a better understanding of the documentation first of all. After that, for your student visa, you need to select, if you're applying from offshore, make sure you select the course which is in line with your previous study. Don't just jump onto a different courses just to secure your PR easily. Because a lot of people discuss internally or with other students to say that, this is a popular course and I can just apply for that one. Instead of doing that, just make sure that you apply something in line with your studies, because the department will assess your application based on your previous qualifications and how you are upskilling yourself from that previous qualification. So if you've done bachelor's in commerce or bachelor's in accounting, make sure you apply something that is in line with your previous studies. Of course, after coming here, if you think that is not something that you want to do, you can explore other options, or you can just finish your studies and obviously on your 485 or your graduate visa, you can explore other options as well. So opportunities are there. Everything will be sorted fine. But just make sure that the application or the admission that you're applying, that is basically in line with your studies. All the documentations, all the qualifications from your schooling, your high school, your bachelor's, diploma, whichever you finished overseas, we need to have all those documents in color copies. So just send it over for your processing. Along with that, you need to make sure you have sufficient funds to apply for the student visa, because the department will assess the applicant's background in terms of financially, how you are capable of supporting your finances. So you have to have all those documents, whether be it your ongoing income or your FDs or your savings or a student loan or anything like that. You need to have all those documents arranged or the finances sorted before you apply your student visa, to make sure everything checks all the requirements for the department. And along with that, you'd have to supply a statement of purpose or a genuine temporary entrant requirement to say that why you are applying your student visa. Obviously, we can help you and guide you through to create that sample or the GT tips to help you build up your GT, so you can write all the correct words instead of just writing random things. So just basically this is to justify the department that you are applying for a student visa, and then you have this all, everything, your previous studies and what is your intention of studying here in Australia, why you want to choose this country instead of any other nation, why this particular course and why this particular institute. So there are a lot of requirements that you need to cover in your GT to convince or justify the department to say that why do you want to study this course. Once you have everything sorted, you can apply for your student visa. Also, there are other documentations required as well, such as you have to have your insurance covered as well. You have to have all the finances for your living expenses, your fees. So you have to provide all those documents to apply for your student visa. And then we can, obviously, if you have any questions regarding those documentation or how to arrange those documents and how to create an application which is, decision ready, basically, rather than just waiting for the department to ask you for the documentation. So we'll help you with all of those documentations and preparations. Coming on to the topic of your onshore visa. So students who have already applied student visa or been granted a student visa and they are here in Australia, and then because of so and so reasons, whether be like, let's say you came here and you changed your course to a different provider or a different course basically, and then you're running short on your visa to finish the other course that you've opted after that. So it could be that you want to complete your ongoing studies, or you were probably granted a visa in COVID duration, and then you were stuck offshore, and then you came because obviously the visa was granted during 2020 or 2021, and you weren't able to come into Australia. So you lost out on those 1 year or 1.5 year of visa basically, and then you came, and then now you only have 1 year remaining of the visa, and then you have to finish your studies. So you have to apply for the visa extension or a new visa basically to finish the remainder of your studies or any other new course that you've opted after that basically. So first and foremost, the requirements, there are a lot of documents required to apply your student visa. So you'd have to have your COE from the provider to say that your course will be finishing on so and so date in the future, to say, this is the remainder of your course. So the department knows that, yes, this is actually the case. On top of that, depends which institute you are studying at. If it's a level 1 institute, then you don't need to show finances. If it's in level 2 or 3, you'll have to show finances to support your visa application. Again, along with that, you'll have to supply, let's say you finished any of the studies here in Australia, it's better to supply the transcript to say that your course progression, that you've studied genuinely, you passed certain units, and you just need to complete the remainder of that. So documents, COE, your insurance copy or updated insurance copy to cover the remainder of the visa that you're applying for. So you have to have the insurance valid for those periods as well. Along with that, you'll have to supply a GTE statement to say that why we are extending the visa or applying for a new visa, to let the department know that these are your reasons and motives to apply for the student visa. Again, as I said, if you're in level 1, you don't need to show any funds, but if you're in level 2 or 3, you'd have to provide finances. Again, with that, it could be finances from offshore, whether it's your parents or relatives who are supporting your finances, or it could be you with your ongoing income as a student, if you have sufficient funds to support that. Again, with that funds, those funds need to be genuine. Your department may ask you of the proof of income as well. So if you say, as a student, you have $50,000 in your account, obviously you have to justify those amount as well, that where you're getting that money from. So as I said, the funds need to be genuine. So you can either support by yourself, or any relatives here in Australia wants to support you, they can also do that. And there could be an affidavit and other details involved as well with the visa applicant, which will guide you through if you need to help, if you need our help with that. So yeah, as I said, it's these are the basic requirements basically for your student visa. There are other documents that is also needed for the visa application. Obviously, you can get in touch with us. Our details would be there in the description there, so you can get in touch with us or any of our education counselor here, and we can help you through with the visa process now or in future.
Yeah, in addition to that, regarding the student visa, I would like to add one more point. So if your visa is expiring soon, at least try to put a reminder to yourself. At least try to contact us 1 month or at least 3 months earlier, because the level of the college, it frequently changes. And then, you'll have sufficient time to arrange all those documents along with the financials. Because if you were studying in some level 1 college and on the due time, if the level of the university decreases, unfortunately, but then still you have to provide all the financials again, as in you're applying for the offshore application. So it's always better to at least prepare everything at least a month prior, so that you don't have to rush and you won't be on the panic situation at the end of the day. Yeah.
I'd like to add one more thing as well. We've seen, thanks Prasmasa, we've seen a lot of people who come across on the very last day of their visa or within the last week, and we have seen some people who actually missed out on the expiry date, and they came after the visa expiry to say that, we didn't know that our visa was expiring on so and so date, and we just found out, and now what we do. So again, you can apply a visa. There is a grace period after your visa expiry, which you can utilize only once in your lifetime, but we don't recommend using that period just because, you know, so it's always a good practice to keep an eye on your visa expiry, because as a migrant, we are in an international country, you know, this is the only thing that you have to be vigilant for, that what is your visa expiry, how long you can stay legally in this country for. So that's not something, it's like not a minor detail that you can easily forget. Just keep that in back of your mind that my visa is expiring in at least not a particular date, but at least a month and a year would suffice to say that, you know, my visa is expiring in September 2024. So you can at least start the preparation at least well in advance, let's say 2 or 3 months back in advance. Again, it's a good practice to start your visa application early, because the level of the college can drop in between or by the time your visa is about to expire. So just always keep in touch with us to say that, you know, my visa is expiring and so that when can I start the process, or what is the level of the college right now. So you have sufficient time to arrange all those documents rather than rushing on a very last day or last moment, because we don't want to you know, encourage that you can come in on the last day and apply for a visa. Of course, we can help you. We have helped out a lot of people on the very last day. We are here to help, but we always guide you to say that, you know, just keep an eye out for your visa expiry at least, and just get in touch with us at least a week or 2 weeks or a month, even that is even better, in advance too, so that we can at least start your application in a proper pace.
Yes, so moving forward, I think we've got a few questions. So I'll start from one question. Which course can I do for getting PR easily in less time in Victoria? So would you like to answer this question?
See, of course, thanks, Prasmasa. There are a lot of courses that you can do. This would be a PR sort of question, which a migration agent can help you. And then the courses, see, I would say personally that all the courses or majority of the courses lead to a PR. It's just that which occupations currently in the list, and it depends on the state as well. So we are in South Australia, Victorian occupation list might be different, and they might be a different requirement in terms of the experience and everything. So if you have opted for a course which is currently in the list, if you have not finished your studies, and by the time you finish your studies, it could be a different requirement. So it's very tricky question to say that you know, you could do this course in a very less time and you'll be 100% guaranteed to a secure PR. But yes, obviously you can make all the calculative decision to say that this is a sound course that can help you in future. But as I said, it's always keep an eye on the occupation list and consult a migration agent basically. You know, they can give you a further guidance on that.
So, and moving forward, I think in the same question, I just want to add a few more points as well. So as in, like he said, whatever I said is correct, but as an international student, I would like to suggest everyone, like while studying, it's always better to search job with a particular field. Because as an international student, at least if you have experience, you can do internship during your study period, which will add on to the value. I mean, you can create a profile in the particular field, because ultimately at the end of the day, whatever studies that you have completed, to apply for permanent residency, you need to get experience, whether like it is depend on occupation to occupation. So whether some occupation need 3 months of experience, or some occupation might need 1 year of experience, but then you have 2 years time while you're studying, at least try to pursue work in the particular field as an intern. It will help you. If you can perform well, you might get job, and of course, networking is also plus point, that you'll know other person who will refer you to the job. And then if you can show your capability during your internship as well, you might get the job opportunity there. You don't have to wait for 2 years to complete your study and then search for the job. So that will be the, plus point for all the international students. So moving forward to second question, what about teaching courses and any benefit of diploma in nursing? So I'll answer this question and I can add on the information. So regarding teaching courses, after 2 years of study, so of course you will be eligible. So it depends upon like if you're studying early childcare, or if you're studying primary teaching course, secondary, or special education. It depends upon occupation to occupation. So after 2 years of study, you need to get 1 year of experience, or if they, I think there is some English requirement as well. So to get the proper in-depth information, of course, a migration agent will help you with that. But then as a basic thing, benefit as in for nursing course. Nowadays, after COVID, the immigration and the Australian government, they are motivating health worker as well. So if you complete diploma of nursing, which is for 1.5 years, 18 months, after completion of that study, you can register yourself. And then to apply for 491, they are considering your existing experience. If you're working as a personal care worker, disability worker, or community service worker, you can still apply for 491. They will evaluate those experience, whatever you're doing in the health sector, you can still apply for 491 visa.
All right. Okay, the next question we have is done 3 years diploma in civil engineering after 10, then want to apply for civil engineer technician occupation in Australia PR. Can I apply for the same? Again, good question. I'm not sure, or we are not able to guide you through for a PR counseling, because there are a lot of other requirements in terms of the PR application. They need to assess the applicant's background as well, so experience and documentation and stuff. So you can always get in touch with our migration agent here, and then they can guide you through by assessing your application to see that whether that particular course that you are talking about, a civil engineering technician occupation, that can help you to secure your PR here in Australia.
Okay, so another question that we have is, what's happening with cybersecurity? I just completed it. I'm confused as I don't have job in it. So I was thinking of doing either ECT or Masters of Teaching. What do you guys recommend? So yeah, for this question, like, of course, cybersecurity, it's a demanded course. Now, I think in South Australia, they're going to open, like they're coming up with new IT companies, big IT companies, and cybersecurity. If you're following the news, there are lots of things happening with big companies, like the data has been, there are lots of things happening. So of course, there will be a demand. But then as I've told you, of course, it's difficult to get job for the international student without the experience. So while studying, at least start initiating for the internship and stuff that will help you. And then you're thinking of jumping into some other course, which is, I'm not sure about your profile, but then you're thinking of changing it to Master's Teaching. So the course that you're going to study, anyway, that course also need experience to apply for permanent residency. So for, let's say, for example, you can do additional study as a concurrent study or the parallel study, which will give you 2 pathways to apply for permanent residency. Let's say, for example, if you're doing Masters of IT in cybersecurity, and then you're working as an aged care worker, or let's say you're working in a hospitality field. So you can create 2 pathways at the same time. If you're doing IT, you can study cookery on the other side, so that at least while you're on your 485, you'll have 2 different options, rather than, getting into another master's degree, which is not relevant to your previous background or previous, which is not relevant to your experience. So it's better to choose the course very properly, because if you know about your capability, let's say, for example, if you think that you'll get job in security, better to go with that one. You have 2 years time to secure a job. At least you'll get a skill assistant by doing for professional year. And then during that period, you can search for the job. If that is not working, you must be working somewhere, right? So try to search for the PR pathway with the work experience, whatever you're doing. Let's say if you're working as a baker, there will be some pathway. If you're working as a cook or chef, there will be certain pathway. If you're working as an aged care worker, you'll have some pathway. So just choose the course as per the experience or your previous academic background, rather than jumping into some different random courses.
Okay, the next one we have, how is course about management cybersecurity in regional Victoria? I'm not sure what you're referring to. If you're referring to, say that what options are available in regional Victoria to study this particular course, of course there are campuses that in the regional Victoria where you can study this course if you want to. That can also help you secure your regional studies as well. And the second question was, which trade course is better for a girl? That's a good question. See, trade courses are there, a lot of different trade courses, and it's not not all courses suitable for everybody. So let's say if you are a female candidate, ideally female candidates opt for a commercial cookery, or to say that nursing, that which is not trade course basically, but that's a wet course as well. In trade courses, either you can do for a female candidate cookery or horticulture.
Nursing, yeah. Even for Victoria, I think early childcare is also like one of the key parts.
Yes. There are other courses, carpentry and automotive mechanic and all that, but those are like, you know, more suited for boys. Not to say that girls can't do that.
Exactly. That's what
not more like female candidates prefer those options. So yeah, they tend to stick with the one that they think that they'll be able to do it, because eventually, see, you ideally want to do a course which you think you'll be able to complete and secure a job after that. So to study something is one thing, and to use that or utilize that course to get a job is another thing. You can obviously go and study the automotive mechanic courses, which is fine. But if you think you won't be able to do that job afterwards, then it won't lead you anywhere. So it's best to choose something that you think you are more comfortable in doing, and then you'll be able to find or secure a job afterwards. Yeah, so that's a good question.
Okay, so moving forward, we do have another question. Procedure for student visa in Australia. So to apply for student visa in Australia, it depends upon the profile of the student. Let's say, for example, if you have just recently passed your year 12, they do consider that you must have secured 60% above in your year 12. You must have English requirement as per the like which course you want to get into, because it depends upon your background as well. So if you've, let's say, for example, if you've completed bachelor's degree, so which specific bachelor's degree you've completed, so that we can choose a course which will be like, like leading forward for further education. So there are lots of things that we need to consider, as in like GT requirements. So financial capability of your family or your parents who will be financing you. And then you must have like genuine income document, all the financial documents, valid English score, and so valid, the academic backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah, basically to start your student visa application procedure, we have to assess your application. So ideally, I would recommend that you send in all the documentation along with your proper CV and everything, so we can assess and see that, when did you finish your last qualification, and how long is the gap after that, and what is your English requirement, and then we can suggest you something that is in line with your studies. So what would be a more suitable course after that, and then we can guide you through, say, what is the course requirement, basically how much English would you need, and we'll explain you the financial documentations and stuff. So we need to get your enrollment going. We have to get you enrolled into an institute, secure your COE first by paying fees and everything, and after that we'd have to arrange your insurance, and then we can lodge your visa. So there is a step-by-step process. So if you need to understand much in detail, you can always get in touch with us, and we'd be more than happy to assist you over the call or over the email, however you prefer.
So yeah, you can just forward us the resume. Yes. So then we'll go through the profile, and then we'll get back to you with further detailed information. So the next question that we have is, which university and college are there in outer regional in South Australia? So South Australia is a regional state anyway. If you're thinking about outer regional, we don't have much colleges here. We only have a TAFE SA in Barossa, which offer bachelors of hospitality management. Otherwise, like all the university, it's in Adelaide itself, but then you still get 5 regional points for that.
Yeah. You don't need to specifically go out of regional just to study, because you get that 5 points anyway.
Yeah. So the only difference is if you study in outer regional, you'll get to you'll be able to apply for visa extension for your 485 visa for 2 years. But then still, if you complete your study here, let's say bachelor's degree, you'll be eligible to apply for TR for 2 years, and further you can extend it for 1 year. So that's the only difference. Okay, so other question that we have is, hi, I have a bachelor's degree from Australia in business, but I want to do aged care. Can I do it? So do you want to answer this question?
Yes, of course. Okay, so you have a bachelor's degree in South Australia.
In business.
In business.
Yeah.
And then you want to do aged care. Of course, you can do. Aged care is a certificate course. I'm assuming that you are on your 485 after your bachelor's studies. So on your 485, basically you can do any course, whichever you like. If you are looking to study aged care, of course, you can do it. It's a certificate course you can do in the institute. There could be a different requirement if you go with any certified institute. It's I think around 36 weeks of in aged care certificate 3, or if you choose to do with a private provider, because you're on 485, you won't be needing a COE anyway. So if you want to do with a private provider, you can finish it within 2 or 3 months, depending where you go.
So another question is, scholarships are good in South Australia as compared to other states. So yeah, talking about scholarship, like in South Australia, there are lots of big universities like Flinders University, Uni SA, Uni Adelaide. These universities, they have variety of scholarships. So they assess the application, the student's background, the academic background, the English score, and then they offer this scholarship. In comparison to those universities, we have another universities as in Torrens University, Kaplan, and lots of other universities. So for higher education, they are, as I've told you in the beginning, that they are providing scholarship up to 30%. So it depends upon the background of the student. They will assess the student's background, the academic background, the qualification, and the experience and stuff, and then they will offer scholarship. In comparison to other states, I think, yes they do offer scholarship.
It's better scholarship here in South Australia.
Yes.
All right, so next question we have, is it difficult to apply in Australia as many refusals are coming? My sister wants to study in Adelaide, thanks. Okay. It's not difficult to apply, basically, to say that. Recently, we have seen a trend where department is refusing a lot of offshore applications based on, the intention of going back or your ties with your home country. So lately, they are refusing a lot of applicants. We have seen some genuine applicants who has, very less gap, and they've recently finished their studies and still the application was refused for so and so reasons. So as of now, yes, I would say the department is refusing a lot of applications, but that's not to say that you can't apply and it won't be approved. It's just they are a little bit strict on terms of processing your application, but that is due to, again, as we discussed earlier, they have found out that a lot of applicants have been applying with fake documents, being an English PT or IELTS scorecard, or say financial documents or other experience document to cover your gap and everything. So they have come across with a lot of applicants with those kind of documents. So that's why I think they are a little bit strict in terms of processing the application, and then they are checking or verifying everything that you provide. So I don't think, as long as you have all the right documents and all the documents are authentic and your case is stronger and you meet all the other requirements, I don't see no reasons for them to refuse your application. So yes, if you are looking to apply, you can just inquire with us, send in your details, and we'll be able to look at it.
So another question is, popular trade course in Adelaide. So as we've discussed in the early session, the popular courses, as in like we do have cookery courses, we do have carpentry, automotive, wall and floor tiling, painting and decoration. So for these courses, we do have monthly intakes available, and there are various education providers who are very flexible on payment plans. So they do accept, you just need to attend 2.5 day classes. If you're on 485 visa, they are often fast track courses as well. So there are lots of popular trade courses, but then ultimately after completion of your study, you need to get experience in the particular field. So you have to choose the courses accordingly.
All right. Next question we have, I want to study in Adelaide, but I am confused which course should I go for. I have a business background and I wish to settle in Australia. Okay, we'd have to understand your profile first of all in order to say that this would be a more suitable course for you, because it depends on your background and your previous qualification and the experience that you have afterwards. So we really have to assess the background of the applicant to say that this would be a better course. But yes, if you are looking to settle in Australia, I think South Australia is the place to be, because obviously you get your qualification point along with your regional study points. And then the state is booming as well with a lot of employment and everything. So in terms of studying here, will definitely help you secure your PR in the future. It depends which course you go for. And obviously, as I said, after assessing your application, I can tell you that, this would be a more suitable options in terms of your previous studies, in terms of securing your PR in the future as well. So yeah, we can help with that as well.
Yes. So another question, can we update our EOI after pre-invitation? So I think this question is not relevant to our session. So we are more focusing on admission and student visa. So for that, we can refer you to one of our migration agent so that they can get back to you. And then, yeah. So moving forward to another question, is there a bachelor's or diploma in aged care? And will I be eligible? I want a change in current career, working in HR. So it depends on which visa you are in. So let's say, for example, if you're on student visa and if you're studying bachelor's degree or if you're studying diploma, then of course you can change the course. I mean, it depends upon your visa condition. So if you're on 485 visa, then you can change your course. But then you said that you're currently working in HR, right? So it depends upon the profile of the student. So yeah.
She's the one.
There,
she's offshore.
Okay.
I think that's what she's saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm offshore now. I'm currently onshore. So offshore, I'm the one who asked about the course in aged care.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're working in HR, so it depends upon the profile first, as we told you. Like if you have completed bachelor's degree, we don't have any course in aged care for bachelor's. We only have certificate 3, certificate 4 level. So that will be like less degrading your bachelor's to certificate level. So, but you can do, yeah, but we do have community service courses, human services, which will be like fruitful to apply for PR pathways in Australia as well. Yeah, so we do have bachelors of community service, bachelors of human service. We've got, yeah.
So we can those courses are similar to working in the aged care industry. It's more focused on the community and youth and all that. So that can, again, as I said, it can help you secure your PR in the future. If you are looking to apply for one of those courses, just drop your details in the description there, and we'll be getting in touch with you, and we can start the process if you wish to. Yeah.
So for offshore application, it's always easy for us as well to like review and assess the background of the student so that we can provide you the information about the right course as per your background and experience.
Tailored for you itself.
Yes. So another question, PT is better or IELTS to apply in Australia?
Anything is fine.
Anything is fine. So normally for entry requirement for almost all the the courses, they said that PT equivalent, IELTS equivalent, or PT equivalent. So it doesn't matter. It's up to you, like whichever you prefer or wherever you can score.
It's more sort of a personal preference. If you have done PT or IELTS before and you find that to be, your comfort zone, then you can do IELTS. If you think that PT is better for you, and you can do PT. Like judging from the normal people that who done PT and IELTS, they tend to lean more towards PT because they find PT is more, friendly and easy to get more score in terms of securing a better score. IELTS people say it's slightly tougher, but then I would personally say it's a personal preference. If you find something's easier than something, IELTS or PT, then you can opt for anything.
Okay, so another question is, student visa expiring, can I get extension? What are the documents required? So you would like to answer the question?
Okay, it'd be helpful if you can just drop in more details in terms of when your visa is expiring, which course are you studying it, and when, which institute you are studying at basically. But let's just generally, if your visa is expiring, ideally I would say you start the process at least a month prior to the expiry date. First thing you'd need is get the extended COE to say that your course is finishing after your visa is expiring. That you can get it from your institute to say that they'll give you an updated COE. So that thing, and then obviously you need your insurance needs to be extended up until those dates to cover your COE dates basically. And depending on the institute, as I said, if it's in level 1, you won't be needing finances. If it's in level 2, depending which country you're coming from, you could or you may or may not require financial. And then supporting documents, you need to provide a GT statement to say that why your visa is expiring, because initially when they give you visa, they give you enough visa to cover your studies. So if anything changed in between, your circumstance changed, or you changed the course from one provider to another, or something happened in between, whether you took a drop or you withdrawn from the course or anything that happened, we have to justify all those things in the GT statement to say that this is why your visa is expiring sooner than the course is finishing. So yeah, all those documents along with your statement, and we can help you with the visa extension.
So you don't need to book an appointment to meet
Yes.
us. You can walk in anytime in between Monday to Friday, 10 to 6, so that we can help you for assessing all the visa application and stuff. Okay, so there's another question for you. What kind of fake documents you were referring to, sir? Can you please elaborate?
Okay, so with the fake documents, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people that we've come across were providing financial documents from the bank when, whether it's a bank statements or the FDs or anything that's related to your finances, they can just generate the document from the bank. It depends how they get it. I'm not sure. But a lot of people were providing that. Some people were providing fake experience document to say that, let's say if they finished their studies, bachelor or diploma overseas 2 or 3 years back, and then they want to apply now, but they haven't really done anything in between. So they've not worked somewhere, or they've worked somewhere, but they don't have enough documentation to support that, to say that they've worked. So they would just try and cover those track by providing documents, experience letters, and fake payslips and all that sort of things. So that could be one thing. Some people we would come across from certain states that they were providing fake educational qualification to say that they've studied bachelor or they've studied diploma, while in fact they've only done year 12, and then there was just huge gap. There was nothing, no study, nothing after that. So when you want to apply, obviously you have to cover those gaps as well. If you say, let's say you studied your high school in 2015, and then or 2018 basically, and then you want to apply now, there would be a huge gap afterwards. So what they were trying to do is say, you've done year 12, and they've done bachelor after that in certain university or certain states. So a lot of people were getting those kind of qualifications, fake qualifications as well. Other on top of that, there were some with the fake IELTS or PT scorecard, manipulated ones, or totally fake. You never know.
So fake means, I think, all the documents, whatever it
could be
academic,
anything.
Financial, English, anything. So fake document, if it's fake, yeah.
Yeah, it can be anything basically. That's why I'm saying, see, we have to make sure that all the documents that you provide authentic. How do they know the documents are fake? Because lately department has tried and contacting the finance documents that you provided. They contact the finance, the bank or the financial entity that you provided document from, to make sure that what you are saying on paper is actually there. And they've come across that no, there was no such account on that name, or whether there was an account but there was no sum which you said there was in the account, which is not there. So fake documents could be anything. Look, when you are applying your visa, there are a lot of paperwork involved, and so anything other than passport, you could fake it basically from offshore. So applicants can figure out, or they figure out a way to provide this and that. So we don't really want to say this is the particular document. This is just some examples that we've come across, which is PT, paper, academics, and experience documents, and financial documents. Those are the main concerning ones. But yeah, it could be anything in terms of fake documents.
So I think that's the last question for this session. So do you want to elaborate something about GT? So I think we have recently get the news from the immigration regarding the GT. So now for offshore applicants especially, they are saying that we have to minimize there is a certain limit for the words to write down a GT. So we have to highlight few things, as in key points, as in the personal background, the academic background, why he wants to pursue that course, return of investment, and then the financial tie, the family tie, economic tie, and then the main thing is the intention to go back, and what will be the career outcome after studying that question. So of course we will be helping you about while processing the visa application regarding the GT, and we'll provide all the details information about the GT.
So it's usually, I mean, previously they were providing a long GT to elaborate more in details, like why you are studying this course, why in this particular country, why in this particular state or university. So they were students were trying to cover a lot of things in a GT, and that can go a very lengthy GT, become like 10 or 15 pages GT, which means it's too much for the department
for them
go through and understand your situation. So they're just trying to narrow it down and just focus on key points. just like a tailored GT for 2 or 3 pages. I think it's about
300. So that'll be 1 pages, but then yeah, we can write down in the bullet point.
Yeah,
like
so you
straight away.
just include some key points that why you are studying this course, what is your intention, what would be your return in investment after studying, and then what are your intention of going back to your home countries, your career outcomes, and your family ties and everything. So we just need to narrow it down and squeeze it into a very small GT so that it's easy, precise, and concise to for the department to understand and process your application.
Yeah. I think we've got one more question. So what about the Charles Darwin University in NT? Can you help with tourists convert to student visa onshore? Yes, we can help you. So you can, we can keep in touch with you. If you can provide your email address and contact number, we'll get back to you and we'll help you to proceed with the admission and visa process. So if you have any further question, we are still here for the 5 minutes. Drop down, shoot a question here in the comment box below so that we can help you assisting with your queries. Or of course, if you want to like change the visa from tourist visa to student visa, offshore application, onshore application, we're here to help you with the admission process. And we do help you with the student visa onshore and offshore application as well. So do you want to add a few more things on the overall session?
See, this was the main intention of going live with you guys to understand what, if you have any questions so that we can answer you rather than just we giving you information. It's better to understand your perspective as well. And then if you have any questions, we can answer those questions. So we still have some time. If anybody wants to ask something, just drop your questions here and we'll be more than happy to assist you in that case. But just to reiterate everything that we've said, if you are looking to apply for the admission in Australian universities, whether it's onshore or offshore, or whether you are looking to extend your visa, just get in touch with us, just provide us your details or just get in touch with our team with your email or phone number, and we'll be getting in touch with you and understand your profile and help you process your application, whether it's for an admission or for a student visa extension. We are here to assist you.
And then going back to the initial thing that the courses, so for intakes for higher education like bachelor's and master's degree, the upcoming intake is February and March. We do have universities which are offering up to 30% scholarship. So if you're interested, you can come to our office or you can call us so that we can assist you with the admission process along with scholarship. And then we do have branch in Mosston Lakes as well. So you can visit us in Adelaide City office, Monday to Friday, 10 to 6, and Mosston Lake branch, same time, Monday to Friday, 10 to 6.
Yeah. Over the weekend, just drop us an email and we'll be getting
back on Monday
itself. Before we wrap this up, even though this session was dedicated to education, we'd just like to drop in some information about our app, which is Aussizz.
Yeah.
It's a groundbreaking app that we have created, and nobody has in the market has come across with this sort of thing. So it's an app that where you can just punch in your occupation code, and they'll give you all the information related to your occupations, your experience, your requirements, all the documentations and everything, as well as any new update that has come across. So it's not just that fed into database to say that this is the requirement. Any new information that's been provided by the government, you'll be getting it straight away. So just download the app, Aussizz, search in the App Store, download the app, and just get some information about your occupation that will really help you to understand what studies you are doing and what is your documentations and occupation can get you. If not, if you need any further information, obviously our migration agents are here to help you out. So you can always get in touch with them as well. This is still, I would say, it's a groundbreaking thing to help you understand your occupation. So it's Aussizz. It's available in App Store. And
it's very handy.
It's very handy.
Yeah. It will give you an alert of all the changes in the migration related stuff. Yeah. So I think we have come to the end of this session. Hope
Yes.
we have provided enough information, whatever you have asked for. But then still, if you have further inquiry, if you want to inquire about and get the in-depth information about any courses, student visa, anything, you can keep in touch with
Yes,
us.
this is not the end of the information. We are always here. If anything that you want to ask even after the session, just get in touch with us. Just drop a comment. We will be answering that as well. Or you can just drop an email or get in touch with us over the phone as well. We'll be more than happy to assist you with that. All right.
Thank
I
you.
hope you have a nice weekend, guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon.